Hey everyone, welcome to another Over a Beer movie review. My name is Rich.
I'm Nick.
And we just saw something.
We did.
Something special.
Yeah, we did. What was it?
We saw Rogue One.
I thought it was the Smurfs trailer for the animated.
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
We saw Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Oh! What?
It's finally here. As usual for our movie reviews, we'll go ahead and give you our spoiler-free thoughts. So don't worry about that. I would not want to spoil this movie for you. If anybody spoils this movie for you, they are an asshole. So we will be very clear once we move into spoiler territory, but we will at one point switch over into spoilers. So once we hit that, if you want to turn it off, you haven't seen it yet, go see the movie, then come back and watch our spoiler thoughts on it. So right off the bat, spoiler-free, Nick, what'd you think?
Yeah, well, so you just said, we just saw, we literally just saw
we
this
just
movie,
left the 7 o'clock screening of this.
So barely, it's
it's still
very
fresh.
super fresh, and it's still fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. I
Yay.
checked after. Have you checked it all?
No.
What's your guess? What do you think it's at?
I don't know. I've avoided any...
It's just your guess.
I don't know, 80, 90?
Okay, it's at an 85.
Okay,
Very
cool.
good. But anyway, what did I think of the movie? Spoiler free. I thought it was excellent. It was really in a lot of ways it was what I was hoping it would be, and in a lot of ways it was even more than I hoped it would be. I think that the movie did things that kind of make things in the original trilogy more interesting. Certainly, and we'll get into that in spoilers. And I think it also, where it really delivered for me was the characters, and that's what this movie always seemed like it was going to hinge on.
Yeah.
For me, with those trailers was, okay, we already kind of can tell that we're going to like Jyn Erso, but what about the rest of these people? Are we going to care? I think we talked about that once when we talked about one of the trailers. Are we going to care about these people? And you do care about these people in the movie. The third act works because you care about these people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, there's lots to talk about in spoilers, but should you see it? Yes, you should see it. You should see it on the big screen. You should appreciate
Absolutely.
it. The trailers were gorgeous, and the entire movie it's big, it's warsy, it's starsy. What about you? What do you think?
I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you said, this is exactly what I wanted from this movie. Almost, I do have one or two kind of gripes here and there about it. But those are more spoilery gripes, so I don't want to say too much yet. But I really liked it, and it's exactly what I want from these standalone films. I want to capture the essence of Star Wars and this universe while also feeling like a totally different type of movie. Like it feels like a Star Wars movie at the same time it doesn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, totally. It's funny, as someone who watched, all of, 80, 90 episodes of Clone Wars, it felt more like an episode of that to me. Like a really good episode of that where where those feel, it's Star Wars, clearly, but it is different. And that, again, that is what we wanted. But I really don't want these to ever feel so radically different
Sure.
from Star Wars. I think that, but there is a lot of differences. And without going into spoilers, it's well documented. It doesn't have the opening crawl. But there's other things, it doesn't have the transition swipes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, and it does some other things, some that I weren't really a fan of. I'm never a fan of. I won't talk about that.
Okay.
But it does feel different while also very Star Wars, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it should feel separate. Although maybe they could even push that slightly further, because it does feel like, in a lot of ways, this movie would feel very natural if you watched it and immediately watched A New Hope.
Yes.
And in some ways it wouldn't, which I'll also talk about.
And I hope that as they go on, we can, we have the Han Solo movie coming up. We have the Han Solo movie. If they confirm for sure Boba Fett's the next one?
No.
Okay.
No, in fact, it might not be. It was very, very, very apparent that it was going to be when Josh Trank was making his movie that was going to be Boba Fett.
I hope we see it almost getting further. He's getting further and further away from the original trilogy. Like, keeping it grounded in that universe and keeping some connections to it, but not
In a lot of ways, though,
hinging so heavily on.
Yeah, and it's only getting
The
more
three
so,
movies.
right? With Han Solo being even
Yeah.
more directly related, where this was only on the fringe.
Mm.
I just don't know. I don't know what you do if you're not in this general time frame. You either go way back to
Yeah.
like the Old Republic. I don't think you can really. The problem is if you go too far forward, then anytime if 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12, if they do another trilogy, if there's ever a point where it's like this is a galaxy threatening power, and they've already made a movie that takes place 100 years later, you know the galaxy is saved.
Sure.
So you don't want to take that dramatic tension out. So
It's a very fine line of what they can do.
and if the Galactic Empire or the New Order is the power in the universe, then it seems like all these movies in some way
have to revolve.
Sure. Around that, and it gets difficult. But you would recommend people?
Yes,
go see
absolutely.
So I think that we
Go
should
see-
smooth
go-
the spoilers so we can start
Go see it in a theater, like he said. I know I'm already seeing it a second time. I want to go see it in 70 mil. But yeah, it's great. It's gorgeous. I love the characters. So here on out, we both recommend it. Spoilers. So you have time. Go stop this. Go see it or stick around if you've already seen it. Don't have this spoiled for you. Watch it. Cool. So spoilers.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? There's a lot.
Okay. I mean, let's just kind of let's work through. I don't know, where do you want to start? Like, let's start early and get to the way that they end. The third act, there's a lot to dive into and a lot to, like, how it connects right into A New Hope that I'd like to talk about. But all right, so the main character, Jyn Erso, what did you think of her?
I think she's great. I would have liked to maybe see just a little bit more of her transition from I want nothing to do with this to I'm suddenly the leader of this. Like, it works, it makes sense.
Yeah,
but it just
I know what you mean. I think if anything, I wish that we had seen more of her from going from that little girl to becoming somebody who is capable as a fighter. And
sure, because Whitaker mentions that he's like, you
Right.
were the best fighter already. It's like, so we already have that like groundwork laid that she can do these things.
Yeah, well, I mean, he says that though after you've already seen that initial fight on Jeddah.
True.
So, and where she's like, I know how to handle myself.
Yeah.
And they show her like just turning, shooting people.
Which you could kind of put together of like she's survived on her own.
I totally get it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just saying
yeah.
I wish I had seen more because what you're saying, you know, her being this reluctant person, even in that scene where basically Forrest Whitaker's one scene where she's like, where he's like, well, how do you feel about this? And she's like, I delivered you and now I'm
Yeah, like
gone.
I'm out, like I'm done.
I'm out. But then for me, it is entirely sold because I think in a movie filled with emotional scenes, one of the most emotional scenes for me was her watching the hologram of Galen Erso, the Mads Mikkelsen character, her father, explaining, you know, kind of talking to her in a way, and explaining that he went back because he knew that they would finish it no matter what, and that he put in this thing. And then that's when the movie really clicked for me because it was like, okay, this isn't just about them making it, like, this is a total justification of why, like, how they found out about it, why he goes back, why he finishes it, and it ends the 40-year-old joke about New Hope, where it's like, why would they make a thing? It totally just completely makes that so much better that's in A New Hope now. And it's a brilliant move by them because it just fixes that one big issue. If there's one other big issue I wish that they had cleared up in this, I just wish that they had said that they had a second Death Star in development already. Because that's one of the goofiest things about the original trilogy is that by Return of the Jedi, they have a fully functional second Death Star that you've never heard jack shit about. When in the prequels, which take place like 30 years before this movie, they're already developing the Death Star, and it took that long to make one. Why couldn't they have just said that they were building the second one?
Sure.
But I thought Jyn Erso was really good. I think that all the rogues, if you want to call them that, were awesome. What did you think about Captain Andor Cassian, the Diego Luna?
I like him.
Because he next to her, he's definitely the side main character. He's in the movie as much as she is.
I like him. I like that kind of from the get-go we see he's sort of ruthless in this.
He shoots first.
Yeah, exactly. Like they, right off the bat, they're like, no, like we're not gonna play around. Like he's, in this rebellion, but he's also kind of got that. I'm taking care of business. If I need to kill or shoot, like that's what I'm here to do. Mm-hmm. I like that. I was worried at the end that they were gonna kind of force their relationship a little too much, but I think they get just close enough to keeping it okay and not pushing it too far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I kept waiting, I'm like, don't kiss, don't have this big, and then it didn't.
Yeah, but it's definitely there.
Sure, there's hints of it there, but it's not. It doesn't push it quite so far where, oh, we're suddenly in love. It's like we have a connection, but it's not super forced.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I interesting just theory, and you haven't watched any of Rebels yet, but it would not shock me if by the end of Rebels, the Ezra character, who's like the main character, for some reason changes his name to his name, and all along he's him. Now, obviously, this Diego Luna character is not Force sensitive, but maybe for some, and Ezra is in Rebels, but like there's just so many physical characteristics that are the same. It would be a really interesting twist. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I could see it happening. But and then with him comes K2SO, who was awesome.
Yeah, he was great.
He was hilarious, and they've done a really good job with the droids. I hate C-3PO. I'll always hate C-3PO, but BB-8 could have just been another R2, and he's not. He's entirely unique and different and lovable. And K2SO is immediately
he could have been another BB-8 or
a Jar Jar,
or even a Jar Jar.
That's always the worry, right?
He works really well.
He was awesome.
What did you think of the CG characters?
Mainly, you mean like Tarkin?
Tarkin and Leia.
Leia at the end. Initially, there is no initial. It's just you get a second of Leia. But with Tarkin, initially slightly distracting.
Yeah.
But also the most effective we've seen that technology. To this level, I'll say, Dana did not know that it was a CGI.
Really?
Had no idea.
Oh, wow.
I didn't at one point go, can you tell this guy?
Uh-huh.
At the end of the movie, I was like, did you know that Tarkin wasn't a real guy? And she's like, who's Tarkin? And I was like, all right, did you know that the other old guy from the Empire that told the other guy to get off the Death Star was not a real person? She's like, you mean the old guy? And I was like, yeah. She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, he was a computer animated character. She's like, what are you talking about? So I guess if you don't know that you're seeing an actor that died like 25, 30 years ago, maybe you don't tell. I thought it was very convincing.
It was.
Leia,
the more like the shots where he was like kind of standing still and wasn't moving worked really well.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, like I almost wish they had limited his scene to like that very first one, and you kind of just saw him through the reflection of the like a way of, because you could mask I think that a little bit better like through the reflection, and it looks maybe a little off, but that's okay.
The one thing and again we've seen this in Tron Legacy, we've seen this in even Westworld, the Avengers movies, Terminator. I really think this is the best that it's been done. Mm-hmm. It's definitely effective. I just don't know why you had to do it.
Yeah,
you had to have Tarkin in this movie, and it always, to me, it was like, okay, I get
we never saw him, and we were kind of like,
going to be this, but he's got to be in the movie. And then there's an actor who, for a split second, plays Tarkin in Revenge of the Sith. Mm. Obviously, 20 years younger than he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but you could have.
He looks just like him, and if they do, they have the same woman who's in a deleted scene of Revenge of the Sith, played Mon Mothma. Why don't you just have the other guy? Like, why spend all that money? Why do that?
And then, like, even Leia at the end, it's like you could have just shown the back of her, shown him hand her the thing, and still have the dialogue of, like, oh, thank you. Like, not even, hope, or you could have just said thank you, and that could have been.
To me, that would have been even hokier. I've never been a fan of when they do that stuff, like first season of Supergirl. They do that a couple times with Superman, where you just see, like, Superman's hand, or you just see Superman from behind, because they don't have a Superman yet, and they've done that in other types of things like this. And to me, it's almost more hokey, where it's like, okay, you're showing me that person's not really in the room. I like what they did. Again, it's not entirely convincing, but to me it was effective enough.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have been funny if it would have been present day Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. I'd be interested to know how they did her. Like, was it Carrie Fisher and then they did the de-aging?
Mm-hmm.
Or I think I had heard a rumor at some point that it was going to be her daughter. Like, her daughter was there and then they slightly altered.
That would make sense. I mean, because her daughter
looks a lot like her.
Yeah. They could have just done that too. It's just not even de-age, just put her daughter in that.
Well, I mean, she's already in 7 though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And apparently in 8. But, so, all right, well, let's talk. There's a couple other people to mention, but while we're talking about Leia, let's talk about the last, like, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Fucking Vader going down that hallway.
Yeah,
was the most incredible thing.
That was cool.
Ever. It was just so vicious and intense and just, that was great.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That whole ending, like, I was like on the edge, like, I know where this is going. Just get to that moment. Bring us to that moment of...
There's one problem, though.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's actually 2 problems. There's one, to me, obvious one, and one less obvious until you watch it. But the first thing is, again, if you were to watch, like, it leads right into 4, basically, right? Like, essentially, like, a second later, Vader would catch back up with them, and then 4 would start.
Yeah.
I think if you were to watch this and then watch 4 and watch Vader do that, and then watch the fight an hour and a half later with him and Obi-Wan in A New Hope, you'd be like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
To these guys, that would be very jarring.
Well, it's like you see him pull his lightsaber out in this, and it's like at the beginning of the 4, it's like, why would you not just cut down everybody else?
Right. True. But the main, I think the more glaring issue is in A New Hope, in those first 5 minutes, when he does get to Leia, and he is questioning her. In the first 5 minutes, she says something like, "We're on a diplomatic peacekeeping mission." She would know, and he would know that he was just on that ship.
Yeah.
There's no point to say that. Like, that line doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
At all. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd...
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing,
right?
But besides that, yeah, that kind of
breaks that whole of that.
Yeah, it kind of ruins it just a little bit.
Yeah.
The only thing that you could say though is, Vader goes down that first corridor, kills all those guys. The plans are passed to another guy, who then I think Vader goes into the next hall and kills him too, and it gets to another guy, and maybe Leia just doesn't know that Vader had been on the ship by the time they catch up.
Could be too.
And she's just trying to bullshit her way out of it.
Yeah, that could be. That's
the one way that eventually you could get past it. I feel like that word would have gotten on.
Yeah, but we need to get out of here. Vader's hunting us down because of,
But if for some reason you can say
we just stole their plane.
Yeah, if for some reason you can say to yourself that she doesn't know that he knows, then you can bypass it. Otherwise, it kind of is a real scene ruiner.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Still cool. Yeah,
it was awesome. Right?
Something about Vader just seems slightly off to me, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not he's different.
Yeah.
Which I appreciated, because if you watch A New Hope also James Earl Jones just isn't quite the same anymore.
But it wasn't even the voice of it. It was like just the look.
Exactly.
Something was off.
But that's the thing. If you watch A New Hope again, Vader's costume and his mask is wildly different than what you think of with Darth Vader. Because, like, the mask was different in this because it is what it is in A New Hope, and they don't show it much, and you more think of the other two. But when they finished making those movies, they totally got rid of all the props. They destroyed everything. Yeah. And then when they made it for Empire, it is a different mask. Like, honestly, like, drastically different. And so I was happy that they did go with that different look than what we more customly are used to seeing. It's almost the same, but it's different.
It's so close. There's just like, and I think part of it might be too is it's it's the body type of whoever's underneath it. Like it's
Yeah, no, there was also something slightly different. Like his
neck is a little bit
was
different.
a little bit shorter.
His pants are a little bit different.
Yeah.
Something with that.
But
I want to know more about that build, like that tower that
where
he's
he
in.
was?
He's like chained up in this all this fog and stuff. Is that something out of like Rebels that they?
Well, see, yeah, I was talking with a friend on the way home from the movie. I think, if we had to guess, I think that the planet he was on was Mustafar, where Anakin falls in the lava at the end of Sith. I think that's where they were. The tank that he's in is the similar type of tank to what they cure Luke from after he's been attacked by the Wampa at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
But it looks like a more enhanced version of that. And apparently in the book that just came out like a year and a half ago, Lords of the Sith, which is about Vader and Palpatine, he makes some comments about the suit and the mechanics greatly irritate his body and how he has been trying to cure himself. So I think that this was a slight showing that he is trying to fix himself in a way that maybe we just don't see later.
Because he's definitely, in that tank looks more
it's
man
definitely
than...
I can't think. I think it's called like a bantha tank or something like that. And I think it was just a more enhanced version of what they cure Luke in after the Hoth. It was interesting. I'd like to see more.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we got a second Vader scene because while it was nice seeing him like choke Krennic and everything. What did you think of Krennic?
I thought he was. I would have liked to see more of him.
Yeah,
I think he works.
He's fine.
He's fine. I think Ben Mendelsohn does a really good job.
I think he does a good job for what it is.
I wanted to see more of him, and at the end, like where him and Jyn are having it out on the tower, I was kind of like, he's not as menacing as I would like him to be, but at the same time, I'm like, he's also not what this movie really is about. Like, so I'm like, I can kind of forgive it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he doesn't need to be a Darth Vader or a Kylo Ren. He works as what he is.
Yeah, but part of why I don't think he's as effective as he could have been, and it had to be this way, but is because Tarkin, in one of his most devious moments where he sees the explosion of the Death Star, from above, and he's like, it's beautiful, but then he's immediately like put in his place, like get off this ship, like I'm taking this over, and you're like, oh, you're not really the badass.
Like he's trying to become he's like trying to climb these ranks, and like he's constantly pushed down by Tarkin and Vader. So I think it works.
Yeah.
But like that whole last like third of the movie, like it just becomes this great war film.
It was awesome. Like everything down on the planet, Scarif, like down on foot was awesome, and everything in space was awesome. Huge cheer from the audience when like the X-wing squadron comes in and they're all like doing their call signs.
Now,
I think it was original footage.
Okay, I think it was
footage from the end of Empire.
That's what I was
somehow digitized and enhanced to look more.
I was gonna ask you about that because I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because it looks really close and it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they somehow took that footage and made it look modern. But I think it was literally the same guys.
Okay.
Yeah. Which was really cool. And then obviously they added a bunch. They added a couple female pilots because there was never that back in the. They gotta have.
Yeah.
Gotta cover all your bases now. You gotta have your Asians.
But no, I mean it worked.
No, of course it works.
Yeah.
It's cool, but like they gotta dot all their I's and cross their T's. But what did you think of Donnie Yen and the other dude?
I
thought they were awesome.
Yeah, I liked them a lot.
I thought it was very, very emotionally powerful when Donnie Yen's character died.
Yeah, I love the whole, we're separated now from the Jedis, where it's just the kind of the lost word of the Force, and it's like this religion that some people follow and some people like think it's a joke, and then you have like the old kind of wise, religious type character who's, and they work really well.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what his backstory is, because that character was clearly old enough to be around when Jedis were, before Order 66 happens and all the Jedis are killed off, or most of them. So why isn't he actually trained as a Jedi? Like, he's clearly somebody who's obviously Force sensitive, who just never got trained, and that's a really interesting idea. And I also really like the idea. I don't know if it's been officially confirmed in canon. It's been speculated by fans that the Death Star's laser is powered by kyber crystals, which are what, like they say in the movie, is what powers lightsabers. Because that is what it is. That's what her necklace is. That's what, they show. There's episodes of the Clone Wars where they show young Jedi going to find their kyber crystal, which then determines what color your lightsaber is going to be.
Gotcha.
But to put it canon that it is powered by the same energy source, the Death Star laser. It's just they've been mining like all of it.
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff there. Were you surprised at how little Forrest Whitaker was in the movie?
Not really. Like, I was surprised he went when he did. Because I expected him to be more of like a middle of the movie character. Like, I think at one point I talked to him sort of being like the...
In Predators?
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne's character, where he's sort of like the crazy old hermit who's like really in tune to what's going on, who they need to get to.
That's exactly what it looked like from the trailer to me, too.
So I kind of expected him to sort of be in not super much.
Yeah, and it does look like... potentially from all of the reshoots, some of his stuff was cut because the most standout with like what will you become was not even in the movie.
No, there's a lot of lines that were cut and a lot of stuff
sure.
that were shots were different, lines were cut. Whether that was intentional or because of the reshoots, who knows?
We may never know.
Yeah.
My guess is eventually we will. They like releasing these things thousands of times.
Yeah.
Eventually, like the 4th Blu-ray that they make you buy.
Yeah, we just got another Force Awakens like collector's
the original
4-disc
cut just for the curious. And...
Yeah. But good job, Gareth Edwards. I liked this much more than Godzilla.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. Godzilla was not lacking in the visuals. It was lacking in character, and this is not.
And this is everything you want from characters.
Were you surprised they all died?
Not kind of, but not really, because you get to a point where it's like there needs to be an explanation of why these characters are not involved in any of the other movies. And as soon as like the shield closes and they're like, oh, we're trapped down here, I'm like, okay, this is their solution. They're gonna kill everybody.
I gotta say, I was pretty surprised for a couple of reasons. I assumed that most of these people would die.
Yeah.
I assumed Jyn Erso was never going to show up again. I started seeing, those tweet reactions after the premiere of how great K2SO was, and I was like, that character, I bet the powers that be didn't let them get rid of him because that's a droid that you could easily, if it was a fan favorite, somehow reawaken.
See, even like Jyn Erso or the other guy,
Andor.
Is that
the Diego Luna?
Yeah. Like I could have seen them somehow keeping them and like gone off into the galaxy and maybe show up in 8 or maybe show up.
Maybe Rey's mom.
Yeah, there was all those theories and stuff. Those are gone.
No, those are definitely gone.
But I think I kind of like the fact that it just kills everybody.
But I do too, because then you never have to wonder, well, if these people, why did they never show up again? Like, this is why. It makes, it also makes the continuation of continuing what they let start more powerful throughout the course of especially A New Hope.
Yeah.
But I think that it is a great sign that there is no intervention from Disney. People don't need to say that Disney is going to Disney-fy these things.
Because
it is not a Disney thing to have what other major Hollywood blockbuster kills off everyone in the movie? It doesn't happen.
I mean, not only does it, but I mean, like I said, like this is a PG-13 war film. I mean, it's about as close as you can get to a legit war movie without, pushing it into an R rating.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars, kids love Star Wars. Kids are going to go see this, and everyone in it's going to die.
Yeah.
And Disney, so that's not a Disney, so don't ever say that. Like, they're not doing that. Of course, it has fan servicey moments. You get R2, you get C-3PO.
I don't like the C-3PO and R2 moment.
But they have to be there because they should be there.
But you don't...
Because they're on the ship that comes out of there.
Yeah.
So there's really no reason not to.
Sure, it just seems kind of forced. And I don't care for the Cantina guys showing up.
I liked it.
Like, it was kind of funny, but I was like, okay, it felt a little too fan servicey for me.
A little. But again, I mean, we see them in a spaceport in the original. So these,
Yeah.
so like you could see
So
a
it makes
scenario
sense
where
that,
they
yes,
go from
like-
one place to the other.
And I was like, okay, well, they just blew it up, so okay, so you have to say, well, they got off in time for it to not.
Right, that's the one thing. Like, how did they? But we also don't know the passage of time that it takes to get from there to wherever Saw Gerrera
True,
is.
how long they were
But
captured. And...
of all the characters they could have shown there, because when they're in that area, I had I instantly was like, you know what? I would not be shocked if we are introduced, even though he should be older, but if we're somehow introduced to this being seeing Han Solo, seeing the Alden Ehrenreich, because especially by the time of the reshoots, he had already been cast.
That's right.
So-
We had talked a little bit.
So
about
they could have done, or Chewbacca. They could have done the even more obvious, like were those Cantina guys,
Or even like
obvious,
a-
but they're
like
not
a-
super obvious to a cat. Like Dana had no idea.
Well, like
those-
even
you
like
know
my
what I
girlfriend,
mean?
she was kind of like, it didn't immediately jump out to her who they were.
Right.
Or you could have seen like Chewbacca or
Chewbacca. Happy
Hanukkah. Jabba's like cronies or somebody clearly part
Yeah.
of Jabba's palace.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
they
it could have, or Greedo. It could have
Yeah.
been, it could have been a more like, or Boba Fett. It could have, anyone that was more obvious. I think that they're on a scale of, yes, this is something that people should recognize if they think, but it's not the most obvious people
Sure.
at all. C-3PO and R2-D2 are far more, but
Yeah.
I will stand by that I think they should have been there.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you because it makes sense that they're there, but you have the kind of same timeline of, okay, well, would they have been on the ship that was going into battle to eventually get on to Leia's ship?
Well, I'm assuming that Leia's ship is just also based out of there at that point,
Sure, but
because her adopted, father, Bail Organa, is there, and
which
says
I thought was
before that.
I thought that was cool that
yeah,
they,
it was nice.
They brought Jimmy
and
Smith
I was
back
happy
in.
that he got that second scene, because when he just kind of walks into frame in the other one, I was
Yeah.
like, that's really what you brought him back for.
Yeah, I like the whole like, oh yeah, I trust her with my life. I know somebody. That...
Yeah, I really like the idea of him being the one that's going to tell Leia to get
yeah.
Kenobi involved, and not just Leia coming up with that on her own.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes that really organic as well. It was good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it again.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm definitely now knowing how it goes, seeing it again, and not constantly wondering like, okay, what else might happen, what else
Yeah.
might happen. Now just being able to see it without trying to think ahead, trying to connect dots, I think will be awesome.
I feel like we'll probably see more dots connected as we see it
probably.
again. There are more little things, more hints here and there, and I think even stuff like in Force Awakens, I didn't notice the first time Boba Fett's like flag in Kanata's cantina.
right.
I mean, little stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
I'm
we might-
excited for this coming, Monday, Tuesday, whenever the articles come out with all the different
Yeah. Oh,
Easter
all the
eggs.
here's the top 10 Easter eggs you might have missed in Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean,
Darth Vader's
apparently
there.
my friend was telling me on the phone on the way over to here that the Ghost, which is the ship from Rebels, is in the last fight,
Oh, really?
space fight, which is interesting. And did you catch, because neither of us caught the line, those two stormtroopers on the beach in the war scene they say something, and they're like, have finally been discontinued, but I didn't hear what
No,
they said.
I heard it, but I couldn't. It was some kind of model number or something like that, and
Like
I wasn't sure
that
what it...
obviously means something.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that line exactly was. And
I'm kind of surprised Akbar.
yeah, I know.
I kept like kind of waiting for that because like,
I kept waiting for him to come out on that ship with the other,
yeah,
crustaceans or whatever their name is.
because we don't see for sure that that's destroyed, right?
No, I don't actually. I'm not sure that it really
'Cause I don't
could have,
think-
because they're the ship that really gets the plans.
Well,
and then
they get the plans
transfer
and then
them.
they transfer them. So I don't know if we actually see
Yeah.
we see all the stuff come in right before they're about to jump.
Because
but we
that's
don't
what I was thinking. I was like, either Akbar is going to walk out onto this thing and he's part of that ship, and that guy's going to die and he's going to become the admiral.
Yeah.
Or we're going to see that ship die, and then that's why Akbar is then in that like seat of power within that race.
Yeah,
But neither of those things happen.
which
I
was
surprised.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
That I was like, you're gonna tease that, but like not. You put all the other fan servicey stuff in there. You'd think they would have mentioned, even said something like, "Oh, we gotta get in touch with the Akbar,"
Yeah.
I'm glad they
Part
didn't...
of me till the very end was hoping there was a secret episode 8 trailer at the end of the credits. We didn't get that. But.
One thing I'm glad didn't happen, I kept waiting at the beginning when you see K2SO and him, and he's like, oh, the odds are this, and the odds of survival are this. I kept waiting for the other guy to be like, don't never tell me the odds kind of thing, and I'm like, don't do it. They never don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. He was good.
Yeah.
K2SO. He was good. Rest in peace. Any other thoughts? Favorite character?
Probably Jin or K2SO.
Yeah. Also,
and outside of Darth Vader.
Donnie Yen, another.
Yeah, he's great.
He was awesome.
That's the blind one, right?
Yeah.
I knew it was either him or the machine gun.
They were both awesome.
Yeah. See, that's another story I'd like to, like, another, either an episode or like a anthology movie you could do of, like,
and it would be
connecting them to the old Jedi.
Been through some stuff.
Yeah.
I wish we had gotten a little bit more of, like, and there was like that little, like, monkey dude who was shooting the gun.
Yeah.
And when they had shown that footage of him in that like celebration reel, like, Gareth Edwards had come out after him and was like, there's not going to be much of that guy. Like, people asked him questions. But then there's also that big white furry guy in the background that has a toy. And I just one cool thing from him would have been nice. Just one moment. Give me one moment of the polar bear man. I'm excited to get the visual dictionary for this and, dive into it and read about some of these different things.
There's a lot that people can, like, pull apart.
Yeah, and I loved how they did a lot of things that made it look like it fits in with the visual style of the originals. But then there's, like, all the computer monitors and everything look like it's straight out of the 70s. But there's still some stuff like that shield that they couldn't break through. Never been in anything else. Like, why did the Empire never use that again?
Sure.
But I don't think there's as many things that you can point to about that, like you do with the prequels, where you're like, everything looks so much newer than they're going to in 30 years down the timeline, which makes no sense.
There's a lot of technology that got lost over those 30 years that they could have.
There's not as much of that you can point to, but this makes me more optimistic about the Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to start learning more about 8 and even Han Solo, whatever you're going to call that.
I mean, like we said at the top of this, like, this is what I wanted from this movie. And this is what I wanted
a little bit more
from, like, these anthology movies. Like, it very much feels like Star Wars, but it feels like a war movie that it doesn't quite have the same feeling, like, tonally as the other ones. But it still fits.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I did not like.
Oh, yeah, there was something that you were talking about.
It's a little thing you almost never like this in movies. I hated how they told us what planet we were on. I don't.
Oh,
It just takes.
Like, I thought there was a little too much of that at the beginning, where it was like jumping from planet to planet.
And that's the thing. And then they don't do it on certain planets that I wanted to know. I wanted to know if that was definitely Mustafar that we've seen Vader on, and you don't tell me what planet we're on, but you do the other thing. I don't like that. I didn't like it in J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, the first one. They do that with, like, Klingon and Earth. And I didn't like it in Guardians of the Galaxy when they say it's nowhere. It takes you out of the movie. Like, you're watching a movie, and all of a sudden there's text explaining shit. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah. I agree. I was just kind of like trying to keep track of which
Star Wars thing.
Which planet? Okay, we're on this planet. No, we're on this planet. No, we're over here. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second.
Right, and I think that's why they felt they had to do it, because they are jumping back and forth, and even they show her on one planet, and then the next time they show her, she's on a different planet. So clearly, that's why they're doing it, to give you some sense of geography. I just don't like it. I think that you can do that stuff just as organically via dialogue.
Yeah, or you don't even have to.
Or you just don't, and the people who really care can read through
can
things,
dig
like the
into
visual dictionary and read books and this and listen to audio.
Because there were planets and things from, like, Force Awakens that aren't talked about.
Right, yeah, you only know because I only know that Maz Kanata's planet is Takodana because I read it somewhere.
Yeah, or because of Lego Star Wars Force Awakens.
Right, yeah, because you play stuff and you get into more of the universe.
Which I really want a Lego Rogue One.
Yeah, they visit so many places.
There's a lot they could do with this.
They're going to make that, right?
I hope so.
But the thing is, I don't know why they... Like, we didn't know about Force Awakens because they were keeping so much of that so close to the vest.
Yeah.
And this one, I feel like we saw a lot of this. I don't know why we wouldn't have already known that, and why you couldn't have timed that more to come out now.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
I mean, they would have. Yeah. Because Force Awakens just came out. Maybe they're saving it like last. Oh, it's going to be a summer release, and they'll announce it
maybe.
in April or March or something.
Or maybe they have the Dimensions deal, and it's gonna be one of the big story packs or something.
That'd be cool.
We'll see.
Maybe do a double story pack, and I want some kind of Rogue One like portal.
Mm-hmm. That'd be very cool. We'll see. Anyway, Rogue One, excited to see it again. Excited to talk about that a bit more.
Yeah.
And now the news segments of the show should start
moving to episode 8.
Maybe even quicker than you would think.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
But what did you think of Rogue One? Let us know below in the comments. Try to keep them spoiler free, just so people reading through, don't have things spoiled. Don't go spoiling it for anybody else. I think this is definitely one to go in kind of blind on. Or you can tweet at us. You can tweet at me at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer. Or on Instagram at over_a_beer. And of course, right here on YouTube at youtube.com/overabeer. You can also check us out on the Over a Beer podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Music, any of those services or whatever you decide to use. It's a much more fun off-topic thing. But I think that will wrap things up for this Over a Beer movie review. So until next time, drink up.